Yo, 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 what it do? What it do? How is everybody doing tonight? Yes, I know. I did not do a late night show last night. I try to give you guys 3 late night shows a week, but I'm here with a special episode. It is I.O.W. Sports Show, not the Late Night Owl edition. It's episode 373. And if you can read, which I hope you can, look. Y'all know what we do at I.O.W. Sports. We like to preview as many NFL teams before the regular season starts as best as possible, and we like to do it with other great content creators, insiders, people who bring the heat. We ain't doing no ESPN, no FS1, none of that. But, hey, man, I know I look crazy. No hat, right? I got you. And I reason why I'm doing this because I got a special hat for my guest tonight. All right, I got a special hat. Now, I want y'all to look at this Kansas City yellow hat, all right? You see the pencil, the green, the yellow, and the eraser on under the bill. It's because I want you jokers to get out your pencils, get out your notepads. It's time to take notes because joining me today, I know y'all excited about this one because I am. I got a real student of the game. He's back, and I am needing this in my life because my brother has not talked ball with me in about a year or so, and I'm glad he's back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the I.O.W. Sports Show. Student of the game, my man, Nash. What's up, man?
Mar, what's crack-a-lackin'? That's got to be – I've never had a hat intro, but one thing I do know that went right, I saw you got the mild in your hand. I have my draft this time. Let's do the thing.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Hey, before we get off into our bullshit, man, and talking ball, and obviously we're going to talk Jacksonville Jaguars, let the people know where they can find you because my man Kyle he's been a busy man, all right?
It's the case. Listen, well, first of all, I don't want you to take it personal, but my newest project is actually as a producer for a Charger show, the Boat Blitz Uncut with my dude Booga Peters. So there's that.
I'm not gonna let Booga.
No, Booga's good people. You know this. Just spoke with Amy Trask and Fernando Ramirez this past Tuesday. So make sure you check out the Boat Blitz Uncut. And then, of course, you always love it when the first guest of your show is Emery Hunt of CBS Sports. That's a good way to start things off. So I know he'll I can't guarantee he'll have an instant reaction after this weekend's Chargers game, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Check out 80 Simons, a 6'11" British man who played football in his own right. And listen, there's something special about football with a British accent. So there's that. Of course, the Duval dive here. That's why I'm here talking Jacksonville Jaguars with you tonight. And I do my writing as well with the Fans First Sports Network. Of course, you'll get the Duval Dive on the Believe Podcast Network there. Marty, got to recognize that. Of course, with Fans First, I also write Orlando Magic. Make sure you keep me in mind for NBA, my guy. And then last but not least, college football, my second language, because the NBA is my distant third. I cover UCF football and basketball for the Black and Gold Banner and Night Shift podcast. So that's the whole thing, man. So, hey, that's the gamut. You may not have heard the Student of the Game podcast in there. I put that on the shelf. But, man, listen.
You're still a student, though. You're still a student of the game. That's what you for life. That's what you for life, all right? All right, that's what you for life. All right, shout out NWO. Now, check this out, man. This wasn't on my docket, but you brought up college football, and obviously, I know you're definitely a good insider with UCF. How's UCF gonna look this year, man?
Listen, I'm even nobody knows for certain because everybody hid their spring game nowadays because now it's more kind of the home shopping network for other teams to be trying to poach. So you can't have spring games like that. I called out 2 stars that would elevate from a spring game in the past. You might have heard of this dude that's about ready to get beat out by Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. I called out that he was going to be UCF starter back, I think it was in 19. So there you go. There's that. Greg McCray, obviously, a running back there for obvious for the Night Nation out there. He shined out in a spring game, and I called him out. I say all that to say, Scott Frost in his second return picked his quarterback finally here. I think it was just released today, according per the Orlando Sentinel's Matt Murschel. Shouts to Matt Murschel.
What up, Matt?
He announced that Cam Fancher, FAU transfer is going to be their quarterback. So I don't know, man. Where I'm at, if they make a bowl game, it's a success, but I can't rule it out.
Hey, bowl games still matter. In my opinion, bowl games still matter. All right,
I do my best to cover at least 3 every year.
Yeah, and the bottom line looks good when you go to a bowl game too.
You're not wrong, buddy. I don't know any of that now. For Sports Network.
Yeah, shout out. Now, Kyle. Obviously, I do know personally that you are not a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. You happen to cover them very, very often. But I got to talk about this, man. I'm gonna play a little clip for you.
Duval.
You put it in South. I'm shit. Oh my God.
All right, we got a new regime. Hey, man, Liam Cohen's in the building, man. Very creative Duval chant that he dropped right there. All right. Let's start right there. Let's speak with the new regime. Obviously, Doug Peterson no longer in control. New head coach. He brings in his staff. What are the vibes you're kind of feeling from Liam Cohen as he starts his new regime?
And listen, I say this as somebody who's invited to the barbecue, who has been referred to at one of these barbecues as a day walker, if you will. I get how Liam Cohen looked. I get how that Duval sound, okay? That's 4D chess shit right there. Hear me out, okay? Okay? Hear me out. Because not but a few short seconds ago with my good friend of News 4 Jax, Jamal St. Cyr, which, by the way, you'll see again on the Duval Dive at some point, by the way, friend of the show, had an interview with him shortly before where he landed a pretty nice Duval. He gave a brother Duval, had the pitch and everything. Pretty nice for a man of his hue. I'm going to call it what it is, okay? So listen. We're being real on this show, Mom.
Always, baby.
The only wild card here, we a parrot joker. Somebody finna hit that river hard, okay? Get some chips up in this humpy bumpy. I mean, like poker chips. I know I'm fat, so that's confusing. But listen, at the end of the day, he is that 4D chess kind of guy. If you hear the buildup, I know everybody's clipped out the Duval, and it's funny. Heck, my guy touring the AFC South, Mike Patton, hit me up and had me do a little something to explain the Duval to the people. Okay, but if you hear the full context, he builds to that. He fits the tone of the Duval with what he was saying. I'm coming for you. I'm doing this. I'm coming a local. Duval.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact words, but that was the delivery.
Yeah.
But you know how the internet be sometimes. So there's that. All of that to say this. I bring up the Cleveland Browns to explain why Jimmy Gladstone is a big deal, right? James Gladstone, I should say, right? The GM who's come in and tore this place apart.
He did.
And in the loose words that he said, beep them picks. Never thunder, okay? When I went on the Barking Browns podcast, I adopted a nickname for James Gladstone from Browns fans. They call him Jimmy Stones.
Jimmy Stones.
Because he said F them picks.
And that sounds like a mob name.
You heard it too. You hear it too. Good. This is perfect. Right? So with all this in mind, this is aggression and youth and vibrance. This was not Trent Baalke and And by the way, you point out I am not a Jaguar fan per se. I follow the 49ers. I've suffered Trent Baalke, and then I had to cover him. How about that, okay?
Damn, double dip. Ugh.
You hear it. Like, listen, whatever they sing about in The Grinch, think about that happening a second time, okay? How about that noise, right? I did not have bringing up The Grinch in August on your show on my bingo card, Marv. I don't know what to say. But,
we gonna roll with it, baby.
Yeah, of course, that's right. But all that to say, the absolute change in culture is evident. Okay, and Trevor's looked more comfortable than ever. The tone's been more positive than it's been in years. And granted, listen, I started covering this team when they were mired in Urban's coaching. Okay, that's its own thing. This is the most positive I've seen this team as a sports media talent, right?
Mhm.
And then on top of all that, the franchise's only Hall of Famer whose induction I attended, Tony Baselli, your EVP.
Mhm.
Listen, I know what people are saying, and we were asked, me and Travis D. Holmes of the Duval Died, what our crackheadiest take was during the offset. Crackheadiest. Shouts to our dude NSFB in the Jaguar Discord for posting that question thusly. It wasn't our word. He picked crackheadiest. We said, hottest take. He took it next level.
Wow.
And I said that the Jags could win the South.
Ooh.
But the reason for it is because their offensive line is in the most flux. Mar, I don't know how closely you've looked at the AFC South O-line situation, but ain't nobody done tried to improve except for one team, and that would be the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they needed it the most, There's a whole lot going on there. There's a lot of things moving and shaking there in Duval.
Hey, I love to hear because, to be honest, I think the AFC South, unfortunately, is probably, as a whole, is probably one. Well,
it's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. NFC South exists, so that you got that.
Yeah, true, but I mean, at the end of the day, does Danny Dimes start for any of those teams? I mean, maybe he could start for the Saints. That's a fair point.
Yeah, he could play for the Saints. By the way, which I already predicted, the Saints will be one of the worst teams, and they are definitely in the Arch Manning sweepstakes. Obviously, the Manning name is synonymous with the NOLA area, Louisiana area. I see no reason why we should just go ahead and pin them in for Arch Manning. Let's go ahead.
I'm not mad at it. My in-laws in New Orleans. I've seen the house and the tour where the Manning house is on the tour, so I know what you're talking about, buddy. It's a big deal over there, and could be. I've heard worse choices for it. I'll put it that way.
Hey, Arch Manning is not a bad option, but all right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Last time we talked, Kyle, we were talking about the quarterback. It looks like the talk around him hasn't really changed over that time period. Give me your thoughts on hopefully seeing the elephant in the room with Trevor Lawrence is the turnovers. Is there a possibility that he's going to be able to keep the turnovers down this year because he's on third coach?
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it. Now, granted, when you come into the NFL and you're mired in Urban's coaching to open them off the bat, and people talk about, his win-loss record. Are you kidding me right now? Like, what are we doing, guys? I don't know if you want to do that on this episode, but the whole wins as a QB stat thing still makes me want to throw things. But I digress. Punchline is this. The offensive line has been in a state, and a lot of the turnovers I can link directly to a failure in that. Now, have there been a few times where T-Law has, in fact, had bad footwork? Yes, that's correct. You want to know who my source is on that topic? Trevor Lawrence. He has said it in the post game that my feet got out of control. The ball went high on me. Ish happened. I get it. What I always find interesting, speaking of Danny Dimes, by the way, I'll say it. These morons that want to try to tell me, the numbers are the same. I'm going to throw things out on social media. I know Paul. Yeah. So does Emmanuel Acho, allegedly. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. His facility is closed. Anyway, I'm so bad. But the punchline is this, my friends. When you look at the numbers, he ain't all that different from C.J. Stroud. But nobody wants to talk about that. Well, we did on the Duval Dive. But that's a separate conversation. What I'm saying is this, Mar. I'm worried about C.J. Stroud. By the way, let's get this out the way. C.J. Stroud is a fantastic quarterback. I love me some C.J. Stroud. I know. I'm sorry. Like, listen, Duval Divers out there, don't get pissed, okay? Listen, at least you have Trayvon Walker to scare him, and it makes for good football, okay? But C.J. Stroud's a good quarterback. Deal with this. However, I'm warning you out there, Texan fans who are in my life. I'm getting rid of Laramie Tunsil and getting that O-line worse. And as close as you were to blowing both games against Jacksonville, don't be surprised if you only split or, dare I say, possibly get swept.
Ooh, I
don't think that'll happen. But if you play like that both times again, Texans fans, don't take it off the table. Now, the saving grace, let's keep it real. My dude Travis T. Holmes tells me that they did rather poorly today against the Dolphins of all teams in the inter-squad scrimmage. But hey, this is what happens when you have a lot of turnover and lessons to be learned. You want to know another team that had struggles with penalties early on in preseason and had a rough time? It was the Liam Cohn offensive coordinator Bucks last year. So take that for whatever it's worth. I know you got more questions, but I started with T-Law. We did the thing. Whatever.
Oh yeah, we just gotta dip our toes in the water real quick, and then we'll dive head all the way in a second. Look, I just think Trevor Lawrence, and I don't want to say I would never say that he's a bust, because I don't think that. I will say the expectations that was put on him coming in to the NFL were very high, and to be fair, I don't think he's reached those expectations that was, unceremoniously placed on him when he came into the league. So
no, I think that's a great take, Mar. You want to know the issue though? If you put expectations on an ACC quarterback, that's a you problem. Okay, haven't you figured this out yet, people? Can you name me the last ACC quarterback that really did his thing appropriately in the NFL? I mean, Trevor's working on it. There's still a path to victory.
I guess Sean is the closest one I can really think of.
But do you really want to bring him up? I mean, the Cosby Show changed TV for people of color, but do we still bring him up? I mean, are you sure you want to go that route? Because I agree with you, but that doesn't mean we want to talk about it.
Hey, when it comes to the ACC quarterbacks, I don't want to. Okay, so obviously, for me, it's been hard to get that ACC, like all the guys that came out of Carolina. Obviously, Drake May might have a chance to change that tone on ACC quarterbacks. We'll see.
Well, you hope he doesn't look like Drake facing Kendrick. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, they not like us. Hey, you don't want that problem, baby. You don't want that problem. So we'll see. But no, I mean, it's been tough sledding for a lot of ACC quarterbacks, and hell, even as we talk about CJ Stroud, it's been hard for Big Ten quarterbacks as well. So it's
listen, I didn't want to take it that far, but you're also correct. So there's that. But it's different with the Big Ten quarterbacks. Like you had a dude named Samuel Howell. He has 3 L's in his name, and you thought he was still going to be the man. What's wrong with you? At that point, it's on you, Red Tails fans. Sorry. Shouts to my dude Drew Willingham. I came up with that on his show, the In or Out Sports Debate. I'll be on there on Sunday if you want to check that out. But it's a lot of L's. Andy from the ACC, and you thought y'all thought he was going to be good. I'm just saying, we're all over the place. That's my bad.
Nah, it's all good. But hopefully T-Law can. It's just for me. If he gets the turnovers situated, we can. We definitely. The talent is not the issue with Trevor. Is not the issue.
Name the quarterback who's had the most drops by receivers in the league.
Yeah, he's up there. I know Patrick had some problems with
Lavon Mahomes. The second is number 1. I figured you'd know that as a member of the kingdom. But number 2 is T-Law. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and that doesn't help. There's one person that might help T-Law. You drafted him first round. The dual threat man himself, the Heisman, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner until they name another one.
That's right.
Travis Hunter, man. What is Duval? They got to be geeked about Travis right now. What's the vibe like down there in North Florida right now?
I believe you set the bar for understatement in 2025. Okay, if there's a bigger understatement than that, it checks against this one first, my friend. And I know you're just setting the table for the show. I ain't talking trash on you. I'm just letting the people know he's a big deal, and not just in Duval, right? As a member of the Believe family, I did a betting show, even though I don't partake. By the way, what's a bigger compliment than a guy on a betting show saying he's going to take a bet you suggested? That's pretty badass, if you ask me. Shout out to Dave Behrman. But when I was on Behrman's show, we were talking about, actually, Behrman was also on the Duval Dive. We talked about it there too. How much Travis Hunter has changed betting everywhere. You see lines that you would only see for college players, right? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, the last guy that did something other than play receiver was Devonta Smith, right? The Super Bowl champion, Devonta Smith, by the way.
Yep.
But that was on the strength of punt return, right? When was truly the last award winner that went both ways. No, resist the comments. I set the table for something very dirty there. But what I will say is, yeah, everybody's geeked. And here's the thing. The high point of the defense in that Steelers game was Juwan Smoot coming back and getting a sack. That sack happened because Travis Hunter had things locked up. Mason Rudolph was like, oh, I can't throw it there. That would be a pick. Oh, so,
yeah. I take
but listen, on offense, the first drive that the Jags performed as a team, he had the most catches. Britton Strange, the tight end, had the most yards. That was interesting. But yeah, listen, he might be about the only person not named Christian McCaffrey that's a bigger deal on his team than the quarterback.
That's high praise. That's high praise. I've always had this question, and I've always felt a certain way about Travis, and obviously right now he's dealing with an injury. He won't play in that final preseason game. At least that's what's been reported.
Because he's a starter, you know.
Yeah, that too. Are you concerned about the actual amount of playing time that he's going to try to attempt this year? Like, he's really going to go like all the way in playing both ways. Are you concerned about it?
You know, it's hard to be, but you have to be. There's physics. Listen, I do data for a living, Mar. Okay, that's what puts the family food on the table for now. But I use that data to perform great awesomeness in sports. I'm just saying, punchline is this, my friend. The data says I should be, but I actually, as a member of the Black and Gold Banneret, my UCF coverage where they were there at UCF for Big Noon Kickoff before Travis Hunter proceeded to smack UCF all over the place. By the way, making an interception and taking it back to the house in one of probably the more athletic plays I have seen performed in said bounce house, as a side note. I asked Matt Leinart, who's a member of the Big Noon Kickoff on Fox, that panel, right? I said, well, you're a former college athlete. Granted, you're a quarterback. I don't know how much that counts. He said, but what do you make of Travis? And I got a good 5-10 second pause before he said, he's just a beast with complete and total awe of what, and you got to acknowledge that he's a specimen. You got to treat him differently than other dudes. The axiom, every platitude tells me, I need my best player on the field with the opportunity to have the ball in his hands. Whether that's on offense or defense, the Jags will feel compelled to do so. And I think it'll be my favorite thing, though, with this that makes this work, Mar, is that Travis is a humble human being.
Yes.
And he will be able to say, Coach, listen, I need a breather.
Yeah.
And I think that communication, especially with Liam Cohen, hearing how much players are comfortable communicating with this coaching staff, even though, listen, they all look very nice. You do realize that when Liam Cohen entered Jacksonville Jaguar territory, it was on those sidelines, was doing his thing, was coaching the team. His college center, Luke Fortner, was on the roster. He is not on that roster anymore. He may be a communicator, but he cold-blooded. He want to win some games.
Cold-blooded.
Nice. So, now granted, Luke Fortner was not performing. I have said many things about Luke Fortner, and the highest praise my co-host Travis T. Holmes ever gave him was he's the top backup in the NFL, okay? At the center position, right? So the fact that he had the wherewithal to look past, hey, I need to win football games, and yet still have that comfort from the players for communication that we've seen the culture being raised, this is key to Travis's success. Am I worried? Yes, he's human. You still play that kid's entire rear end off
until he can't. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Because he look, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. With the moment you drafted him, I was like, Jaguars got their second best receiver, and they probably might have got near their top of their best quarterback in the same person. Yeah, I mean, fair to say.
I'll put it this way: maybe you think Tyson Campbell's better, but Thanos called. And he found something more inevitable than he is with the gauntlet, and that's Tyson Campbell missing time. Okay? I hate to put the dude on blast like that, but the numbers don't lie. I like him. I talked to him the day after he got pizzed. It was a great conversation.
Yeah.
I just don't think he can make it through an entire year. Now, it's not Anthony Richardson bad, but, he's going to miss time. And you have Darian Jones on the outside doing things. Yeah, I know he's on the man cover for the wrong reason. But can we please admit that Saquon Barkley's a badass and move on from that? A, B. You know who else is a badass? Darian Jones covering people the way he did, even hurt throughout the year last year as a rookie.
Yeah.
So you got Darian, you got Campbell. At some point, Travis will be out there and he'll need to be done. And you could pull him off there too, because Parker Washington and De'Ami Brown will still be plenty open as teams overcommit to control BTJ.
Yes. Brian Thomas Jr., man. And I know this is sidebar.
Man, you can apologize for sidebar when I'm over here talking ACC quarterbacks. It's good, huh?
How the hell did Brian Thomas just become another one of those from LSU that you like? Another one? Like, goodness. Like, his talent is ridiculous.
He fooled a lot of people, buddy. He really did. Even listen, my guy, my co-host Travis T. Holmes, my personal champion, rewatched film to try to understand, and something hit him to where he decided he liked the pick. Now, he didn't expect what he saw, but boy howdy, they needed it. It's the kind of thing that Trent Baalke's like, see, I picked him. Great.
Yeah. Thank you, Trent. Now get the hell out of here.
Here's the thing. You mentioned the previous regime in the other segment here. Everybody knows the best move, the most fun move was Travis Hunter. But after that, I was asked what my favorite pick was by the Duval divers out there. I got to throw shouts to my Duval divers, Mar. No disrespect to your crew and your fans. They're awesome too. But my dudes keep me thinking, even as a student of the game. And they asked me who my favorite pick was. When I said pick number 7 out of Syracuse, LaQuint Allen, I know, an ACC guy. What the hell? But that dude's balling out in the preseason. He's going to make a roster spot, I think. They're going to carry 4 running backs this season, I think. And that's because LaQuint Allen made a difference. Trent Baalke didn't pick no LaQuint Allens at the game.
That ain't on you, Trent. That ain't on you, baby. That ain't on you. That ain't your doing. But with Travis Hunter, and one of the biggest questions that I always ask, and especially with you being so close to the team, is there at any point in time that you feel that Travis should pick a side? Because where I'm at on this, Kyle, I'm going to be honest. I think he can play both ways, but at some point in time, I think he, especially because he's a first-round pick, especially when you get to that 4th year and you start talking about contract extension, I think he should settle in on wide receiver because the money's bigger. Where are you at on this? Does he need to pick a side? Can he continue to play both sides? Or am I just crazy on this? Where are you at on this?
First of all, I can tell you wore your student-inspired hat because that's some critical thinking right there, my dude. A, B. I am of the opinion that today it matters less. Now, when you have me on the show again in a few years and he's campaigning his second contract, that's when I think he locks it down, okay? And for clarity, let's look at this like your average quarterback evolution, right? Donovan McNabb, let's say, as a rookie. I'm going way back, but I'm doing that because I want to show how timeless this principle is, right? The only exception might be Cam Newton because he was just a damn beast.
Yeah.
Shouts to Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I don't know why I did that. I just like Cam Newton. So did my dad. So it's okay. But when he was a rookie, ran all over the place. But then as he evolved, he learned to throw the ball more.
Yep.
So much so, there was an actual headline that broke. I'm not making this up, Mar, that the NAACP chapter in Philadelphia thought he wasn't playing the position black enough because he stopped running so much. It was the dumbest shit you've ever heard. And it wasn't even the politically correct era that we allegedly live in now, right? Like, we're talking about early 2000s. Rush Limbaugh was on Fox. Okay? Yep. What are we doing? I don't mean Fox TV. I mean Fox Sports, right? He was the challenge flag. That was a thing that happened for those of you that aren't in my demographic, okay? Look at this up. I'm not making it up, folks. So, all of that to say, I didn't know we were going to get to politics on this show. My bad. But all that to say, I think this similar thing applies to Travis Hunter. Ball out. Do anything you want while you're young.
Yeah.
But once your body starts to cheat on you a little bit, then you might want to roll it back and settle down with just one position. Now it sounds worse. Anyway, shall we move on?
Oh, we have come full circle tonight, baby. Yeah. Oh, that is nuts. But look, whatever he decides to do, I personally, ball out. I'm just slightly concerned on just him taking that punishment and just because like playing both sides of the football. Obviously, we both play ball. I didn't go to the level that you did or Travis did, but I can understand the physical toll it takes on your body, and him taking hits and delivering hits is still hurt. All right, so I'm just like, man, and that's for him because I think if I'm correct, he was averaging at least 100 plus snaps throughout Colorado.
Yeah, because he was doing special teams as well. Those add up. You're right. The good news for the Jags is this team is chock full of dudes that can return the football. I love the fact that Tank Johnson returns a kick and then immediately takes the first snap of the series. I mean, that's what you got to do, though. When you see Travis Hunter, when you do say no, you'll feel like straight up bitch if you do that, right? So you have to do it, And by the way, this Bajal Tootin kid, he can do it too, right? LaQuint Allen returned some punts. Man, I am such a LaQuint Allen stan. It's almost embarrassing at this point for all the trash I talk on Syracuse. But, he won't have to do that is the good news. So it really would only be about 900 snaps instead of 1,000.
Hey, take them. Hey, yeah. Hey, we just need you to be durable.
and listen, I know I'm making jokes, but like your concern is serious. I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's the awesome in what Travis Hunter's doing. When it comes time for that second contract, I dare you to franchise him. Because when you do, one of two things is going to happen. A, cool, but you're going to do it at the receiver rate. Or B, he takes that ish up with the NFLPA and is like, hey, I'm unprecedented, baby. I'm actually legendary. Quarterback, but listen. I mean, at least Travis Hunter did the job interview better. Anyways, so I like Shedeur as a player. I'm not trying to talk trash. I think he's getting jobbed as a rec. Who picks Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders?
Cleveland.
Bro, how did you get mild, bro? I need a hit of that. Holy shit! So.
Cleveland.
Again, you make the point very nicely. Well done. Who let Jacksonville get Travis Hunter? Oh shit! Right,
Cleveland.
Shouts to the Barking Browns. Anyways, my dude Casey would just look and because he knows I'm right. But yeah, man, I think it's good for him to do it this year. Just look at the way he's setting the table for himself.
Yeah,
and. Man, you want to see it too. That being said,
of course,
I don't see him playing a whole lot of defense against Cincinnati. I think that might even be week 2. Can you imagine this Jacksonville Jaguar receiver core versus Joey Burr and that group? Oh my goodness! And I don't care what you feel about Trevor Lawrence with the lack of defense in Cincinnati.
Oh,
buddy, it's not July, but get them fireworks! Woo!
Hey, man. Yeah, Cincinnati is going to be tough. It's going to be. And
take the over. That's what I'm saying.
The crazy thing with Cincinnati, I was shocked. I guess is the best way to express how I was when I saw Joe Burrow line up in a preseason game. And I get it. He's tired of the slow starts, so he plays some preseason games. Cool. What I'm more shocked about is that all this money that got spread out amongst T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and you still put $0 in your offensive line to protect Joe Burrow. It baffles me. Look, I'm not a GM. I probably never will be. I'm a fan of football. All right. I'm a student of the game. I'm a pupil too. My thing is damn it. Don't you want to keep the guy upright who can easily be an MVP winner who's already missed half his career? I'm just saying.
I mean, first of all, let me add to this too, right? I'll throw some NBA flair into this too. Joey Burr has pounded the table for his ass to be just blasted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase was brought in because Joey Burr said, I want that.
Yeah.
You're going to try to tell me he didn't have a hand in the others? And let's be clear, I'm not mad about that. I actually talked to Joey Burr before it was cool, when he was just the LSU quarterback that beat UCF in the Fiesta Bowl in 18, okay? Mm-hmm. Super cool guy. But definitely, I always cheer for him. He had MVP caliber numbers, but nobody talked about it because his defense sucks, because too much of the NFL media doesn't watch the games. They just look at stats and win-loss records. Mm-hmm. This is why you have me on, Mar. I'm more than that.
Of course.
Boy, I'm cocky tonight. But then again, I don't hear you pointing out any falsehoods. But the punchline is this, my brother.
I'll stop you when you're lying.
Oh, man, I know. That's why we're talking. But this is the story I'll tell. And I'm going to drop names in flex, but whatever. It's what I'm doing right now. I was at the Super Bowl, the events leading up to the Super Bowl in L.A., right? Mm-hmm. When Joey Burr was oh so close. And Aaron Donald was the MVP of the Super Bowl. I said what I said, Mar. Moving on. Mm-hmm. Shouts to Super Cup anyway, but so I talked to James Jones, then of NFL Network, I believe it was. And grant his bias as a receiver, but he made a great point. If I'm going to build an offensive lineman and I get one player, I'm not making that big a difference. If I get Jamar Chase, I'm changing this team. And let me flash my credentials there for those that may have forgot, because there's been a minute of my offensive line action there with my commission painting. And Aaron Evans, original former offensive tackle for the UCF Knights, by the way, and got a call from your Chiefs. That he said no to before he became a painter, by the way. How's that for a story for you? Anyways,
wonder if he's regretting that one. He'd be a Super Bowl champion by now. But
he does regret that. But if you see some of his murals, he's doing just fine, homie.
Oh yeah, cool.
So I know that sounds weird, but dude, trust me, he's stoked.
Yeah,
but all of that to say, we see that worked at one time to get that one sparkling player who was accepting the Rookie of the Year as the same time Joe Burr was I think he was the Offensive Player of the Year that year in year 2. Woo! Okay. But now the fun's over.
It is.
And Joe needs to think about the long term. Mm-hmm. Now, in Joe's defense, Joey Burr, the reason why he played a preseason game, Mar, because he finally was able to.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Shouts to my guy for enjoying it for once, right?
Oh, true.
But yeah, man, Bengals going Bengals. That's what's happening. And listen, Trey Hendrickson, I have history with him too. I talked to him at his East West Shrine Game appearance that I wrote with Sports Media Pass. And I said to him, I voted for you for Defensive Player of the Year. You want to know who the Defensive Player of the Year at that game was? Not him. That's all I remember. But we still talk about Trey Hendrickson.
Talk about him.
Somehow the Bengals ain't fixed that up yet. I got nothing for you, buddy.
Yeah, no, we'll touch on that subject in a little bit. But I just look, Travis Hunter, and I guess equating it to Joe Burrow getting Jamar Chase, game changer. Look, this is an arms race in the NFL.
Yes.
You need weapons, and if you ain't got your guns, you ain't got your bazookas, you ain't got your missiles, you ain't got your nukes, it's going to be tough. And him with Travis Hunter next to BTJ, beautiful. I love
keeping De'Ami Brown as your 3 there.
Yeah, solid. Hey, might creep up on some experts who was sleeping on that wide receiver core if it all pans out, of course.
I told you they closed the facility, Mar. What are we doing?
They closed it. Yeah. Sorry, Acho. Yeah, he was messing with that peanut butter skin.
Hold up. Let's stop for just a minute. That's a win. Okay?
That is.
That's the one thing the brother got right. Okay? He ain't done a damn thing good with football with analyzing it because he doesn't watch the games. Okay? He's made that clear with some of the analysis he's made of Trevor. I get it.
Yeah, but he's full of joy, dog. He full of joy, and I ain't mad at it. I ain't
Let's
mad
get
at
free zone on that front, man.
I am not mad at that. Obviously, Jaguars preseason is here, of course, like any other 32 teams. Before we lump preseason and everything, kind of go back to the draft, free agency, Jaguars, who they've lost, who they've gained, and in preseason. It's kind of lump it up into one big joint. How did you like the offseason, and then how have you liked it carrying into the preseason? Go ahead.
My theme is going to be one simple phrase that I'm sure you've heard before, but only wise men use. And you got your student hat on, so you're ready to go. I mean, you don't need your student hat for it. You're a smart man, but it helps. Addition by subtraction. Here's my whole thing. I like Dougie P. I really do think he's a good coach. I do think I had some good exchanges with him when I got to him in press conferences. I like the guy. The dude forgot he did not have 3 Hall of Fame offensive linemen serving his method, and you might have to call games a little different. May I remind you of Jason Peters, Lane Johnson, and this Kelsey guy with the big beard? You might have heard of him.
I might have heard of him. He might be all right.
Yeah. So when you have Jason Kelsey and those 3 guys that I mentioned on your offensive line,
looks a lot different.
It really is. You know how I know? Nick Sirianni's winning Super Bowls with 2 of them. Okay, or excuse me, he technically didn't win with Jason, but you get it. Doug did though. So I say all that to say, the failure to adjust in that particular space was what destroyed him. And if you want to talk about failures to adjust, I would again tell you that Trent had it in bulky. So yeah, listen, I say all that to say the addition by subtraction took it to places I've already mentioned. Culture change. When I was on the Mark Moses show earlier this week, over here, he's out of Melbourne, by the way, in Florida. He had asked me about the Saints game. Now I get it. The Saints are your future first overall pick, and I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. My in-law is about to be pissed, but that's a them problem. But them coming out after the mishap with Trevor, where Ezra Cleveland stepped on his foot and he fumbled the ball, and still came out relentless as if the Saints were irrelevant, is not something I can guarantee would happen in the bulky regime. There would be other nervousness. The quicksand would start to happen. That mistake happened. Then this ball would get dropped. Then this would happen. Like quicksand. And my dude Shane Falco's 100% right about that. Shouts to Keanu Reeves. So what a great movie, The Replacements. But
love it.
I don't think this is that culture. Those guys came out ready to stomp that ass because they knew they belonged in the end zone, and they did it. Now let's see if they could do it against starters. Carolina's going to be scarier than everyone thinks, but yeah, that's it in a nutshell. From the addition by subtraction to belief in a way I haven't seen yet as somebody covering this Jacksonville Jaguars franchise.
Love it. Let's take a quick peek at this whole schedule for Jaguars, and if you want, you can definitely break it down, and if you want to give a win-loss record, that's totally up to you. But hey, opening up in Duval against those Panthers that you just mentioned, I don't think that's a snooze of a game. That'll be a tough,
sneaky good game. I agree with you, Mar. I almost am bold enough to pick the Panthers in that game, except, well, I just believe in Liam Cohn like that. It's going to be a field. If you're going to tell me a game is going to come down to the field goal, are you going to go with the Carolina Panthers, really? Carolina Panthers team, or the dude that bombed a 70-yarder?
Hey, that was big. 70-yarder. And look, I get it was preseason. I can't sneeze at that. That was impressive.
You know who else couldn't sneeze at that, Mar? Canton. They were trying to get the ball from him. He's like, pump you all fools. Mine now?
Yeah, this is mine.
Listen in my heart, bitches. Okay.
I love it. Home opener week 1, Carolina, then game we already mentioned right there at Cincinnati. I think the Jaguars could stay in that game for sure, because
it's going to be a shootout. Yeah,
shootout. Oh yeah, that defense for Cincinnati is so putrid, and the fact that you had already had contract disputes with your first round defensive end Shamar Stewart. He just got into camp 3 weeks ago, and not even sure what kind of football game shape he's in. But I digress. And then of course the elephant in the room, Trey Hendrickson. Like I said, we'll talk about that in a second. I think that's a crazy situation, but I think that's a winnable game. Now you start getting into division game early in the season, week 3, home against the Texans. How do you feel about the Jaguars matching up against the Texans?
I think the Texans are going to be feeling themselves. And unless week 1 and 2 were incredibly cruel to them, they think they're going to be able to host the Jags and handle it. They're going to forget the fact that they barely beat them. I think that they come to Duval and get handed the L. I'm not here to say that the Jags will be 3-0 to open. I'm saying all 3 games are winnable. I see 2-1 out of those 3 games. Okay. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags jag and lose to the Panthers to open and then win the next 2 games.
Hey, man. Hey, Raiders going to Raider, Browns are going to Browns, and Jags going to Jag.
Hey, the Chargers chargered, and I was there for it in person at that playoff game.
That's in Kingdom, we call it unplugging the Charger. So
it's perfect. Hey, by the way, how awkward is it being somebody who attended that playoff game, covering the Jags and now producing a Chargers show? But
week 4, go to the Bay Area. Your squad. Well, before we talk about that game, just give me how you feeling about the 49ers. I'm kind of like huge question mark. I don't know what to expect.
I'm pulled back. Well, until we started hearing about Stafford's back, I have the Rams winning. I really do.
Yeah.
That defense is legit AF. What can I say?
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I had Rams getting it, but when you talk about the back, and trust me, I'm getting closer to 40, and I get reminded every time that I'm getting older because, them joints and the knees and the elbows start popping. But if that back get me, I am fucking done. I am.
You are not unique in that way, Mar. Let me tell you, the back injuries. As somebody who has worked in a place near healthcare, I've heard somebody who knows a lot more about medical stuff than me say the back. Treating the back might still be the most primal thing in medicine right now with what they have to do, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But in the Bay Area, because I'm not sure what the 49ers, I'm not sure how this game is going to pan out. How you feeling about it?
I mean, their receiver core is decimated. People are all like, Sky Moore's getting picked up. It's a whole thing.
Oh, trust.
And they paid Brock. And the actual MVP of that team, no, not Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams is another year older. I don't think he finishes the season.
Yeah.
But he'll still be healthy in week 4. I think they get the Jags, but it's closer than everybody else thinks.
Mm-hmm. And then, then you got the AFC reigning champs, the Chiefs coming in. For some reason, the Chiefs and Jaguars have been having a lot of games over the recent years. A lot of matchups.
What was it? I think it was week 2 a few years ago. I was there in person, and I know you're gonna thump your chest because you're a proper fan, Mar. But let's be real, you got out of that one with a sigh of relief.
Oh, trust me. I did one of these. As soon as that clock hit 0, I said, "Woof." Yeah. All right, let's get the dub and get out of here.
That being said, last I checked, you still have Chris Jones, and why I like Robert Hainsey as the center there in Jacksonville. You're also playing the Jags on Monday night. They're terrible then. That's a Chiefs win for me.
Yeah, and also, NFL fans, Chris Jones is about to be on hell this year. He's about to give every offensive line hell. If you didn't see the Kingdom on Disney Plus or ESPN Plus, you don't have to be a Chiefs fan to watch it. If you're a football fan, just the way that they went in depth about it, it's dope to see. And you already start getting gears turning in your head. I'm like, all right, which franchise are going to do next? So we can get their history and their story and whatnot. But one thing's for sure, not only are you going to get a motivated Patrick Mahomes, because he's pretty pissed about that Super Bowl loss. You're getting Chris Jones, like I'm talking about, like Ghost Rider, like head is flaming. He is about to be hell this year. So beware, folks.
Put some chains on some offenses. I hear you.
I'm gonna tell you. And then you turn around and get the Seattle Seahawks. kind of interesting matchup right there. The Seahawks, they're still trying to figure out what they are. So
I don't take them seriously. I think the Jags take that game relatively easy, especially with the West Coast team crossing the country.
Always in favor of the home team for sure. Is that 3 home games in a row? Because didn't you? Oh no, that's the London game.
Correct.
London game. Well, Jaguars happen to always be in London every year. I can't remember the record, but I know it's way over 500 for the Jaguars.
Correct. Yep, it's over 500.
Yeah. So, hey, another London trip. How you feeling about it?
Well, I see a London trip. I see a West Coast team having to travel an extra 3 hours. And I know that offensive line is decimated. We've talked about that a lot on the Bolt Blitz Uncut. So, yeah, with that, you're telling me it's DeJuan Smoot, it's Trayvon Walker, and Josh Hines-Allen versus that O-line. Nah, game over. Sorry, Chargers.
What's good, Bobby G? Shout out my bro right there, podcast brother. Audible Podcast. Make sure y'all tap in every Thursday. Well, we'll be going on to an episode after this, and then Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right.
The second bell. You're even dropping times. Holy shit.
Hey, that's what we do. That's what we do, baby. You get to buy week 8, week 9. Okay, I can say that this is a win.
With no disrespect to the great Amy Trask, who I spoke with on the Bolt Blitz Uncut this past Tuesday, you just handed the Jags 2 bye weeks in a row. Shall we continue?
Yeah, at 8. And you go to H-Town, back in H-Town. You could probably get this game if the offensive line does not get full on Bun B's Trill Burgers. You can go ahead and get that one. So
yeah, but you know what? I do think it's going to be a split this year. I have to give CJ Stroud his credit. He's going to make a big throw at the right time. He's going to take advantage of the safeties, who are easily the weakest element. Well, one of the 2 weakest elements of this defense. I personally am not fond, as a unit, of the Jags linebackers. Even the Foye Oluokun is probably the most underrated player in the entire NFL. On defense anyway. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'll give that one to the Texans for the split.
Okay. And then, hey, I'm pretty sure you'll be in the house to cover this one as the Chargers come to Duval.
The other one was the Rams. I said that wrong. But even still, that's going to be a good game. I think Liam Cohen beats his old squad in London for the same traveling regions. And I mentioned the Chargers not having any protection. It'll be even worse by week 11. Give me the Jags in that one too. That's right. LA gets swept by Jacksonville, I said.
Hey, ain't nothing better than a good LA sweep. And the crazy thing about the Chargers is they are already getting bit by what his heart literally derailed their season every year. His injuries. You already lost Slater already?
The game's over.
It's done.
The lament on the Bolt Blitz Uncut by my guy 80 Simons was a tough one. But I can't blame him.
Nah, can't. Because this happens to them every year, and especially as being part of the kingdom. I hear it every year. The Colin Cowherds and anybody else, they can't wait for the downfall of the Chiefs, and they always pick the Chargers to come out the West. And I always think it's crazy when they do this every year because Chargers charge, and we unplug them every year. So, but you guys, after that, week 12, go to Arizona. Arizona is another perplexing team for me. I just think Kyler Murray has all the gifts that God has blessed him with, and they are fantastic gifts. It only just comes in a very small frame, and it still, to me, has kind of hindered his career. Just me. That's just how I feel.
Sure.
We always see him start off hot, and then midway through the season, it starts slowing down, and then by the end of the season, it's like, where'd Kyler go?
Well, he'll miss some games and then he'll come back and finish strong. Is what I feel like we've seen too, right? It was interesting when I asked Aaron Cosarelli and Tyler Dragon of the Believe in Rams podcast, they when I suggested that the AFC South, like the NFC West, was a 2-team race, boy, they were not having it, and a big reason for that was those Cardinals. Now, am I stalling because I have no idea who to pick for this game? You're damn right. Because it's a West Coast game, the Cards have a good shot, but I'm with you. By then, maybe Kyler is in that stretch of games that he's missing time. I could see the Jags winning this one.
Yeah, that's fair. A team that is still trying to find their way. Tennessee Titans, they're still in rebuild mode. Absolutely love their quarterback, Cam Ward, a smart pick. All right. Still got Jeffrey Simmons, a beast in the middle on the defensive side. I just think they're just void of weapons. So you're asking me advantage to Jaguars in this one.
Oh, for sure. I think the Jags sweep the Titans this year. Sorry, Calvin Ridley. But hey, listen, I don't cry for him. He'll be at the bank as he wipes his tears with his cash. I'm not hating. That's just a fact of the case. That's an observation, not a criticism.
Oh no, he's gotten some money. He's gotten some money. Just keep it away from FanDuel, and you'll be okay, Calvin. So, yeah, my bad.
But that all being said, I think the next two games, I'll just get ahead of you on the schedule, are Jaguars wins. But I predict, I'll give you this one, Mar, that the Titans finish third in the South this year. That's how much I believe in Cam Ward compared to, other quarterback situations.
I don't blame you. And if I were to take a guess, I think that team in Indy will probably be your guess as finishing up the fourth in the division. Am I correct on that one?
It's unfortunate they call him Indiana Jones because it means he's going to get whipped. Next.
Oh, man, you got the Jets coming into Duval week 15. The Jets, look.
Just when I thought it would get easier than the Colts. No, I'm kidding.
Now, I think they'll slightly step up above the Colts defensive-wise. Yeah. Now, outside of Garrett Wilson, I'm not sure what else they're going to bring to the table. We'll see what Justin Fields can do. We'll see. But how you feeling about this Week 15 matchup?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Trevor's still upright by now, this is a pretty solid and easy win for the Jags. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think they get past that one.
Week 17, you see it. I'm not going to talk about that. You already got that as a sweep. But you do go to Mile High, and that won't be easy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Jags jag in that game. The Mile High is real, and so too, in my opinion, is Bo Nix and Sean Payton as a duo. I think the Broncos win that game just because the Jags will need it late. I will be lamenting as if they won this game, my crackheadiest take would have worked. But I digress. Yeah, I think the Jags lose this game and break the hearts of Duval in the end.
Win in Indy, and then of course you finish up at Everbank Stadium with the Tennessee Titans at the crib, and I believe you already said you're getting a sweep on Tennessee as well. So yeah, man, interesting schedule for the Jaguars. I don't think it's okay. So I'm looking at it. The schedule is going to be competitive enough to kind of push the team and see what you got in the roster, see if the culture changes came through like you talked about. Are they buying into Liam? But I don't think it's anything that will put you guys in a top 5 pick. If
it's got low enough points to keep things balanced. I agree.
Yes. So there's some games in there that if the Jaguars could put it together, they might mess around and walk out with a dub. And then there's some other games for sure. Like, all right, yeah, they're going to jag right here. But I don't think it's – I think when I went over the schedule a couple of days ago, after I booked you, I was like, man, let me look at this schedule. And I think I came up with around 7 and 10.
Okay, well, you're wildly and dramatically incorrect. The answer is 8 wins, not 7. No, no, and that's the number I've been getting consistently from people I trust. Travis D. Holmes, of course, said my personal champion said 8 wins. David Behrman said 8 wins. I think Tyler Dragon even said 8 wins. So we're talking a betting guy, a Rams a personality, and of course the card-carrying member of the Duval Devout, who's a reasonably well-calculated fan, which there technically is. It's like a jumbo shrimp. That's not supposed to be a thing. But yeah, he said 8 wins too. 8 wins all the way around is where we're going. I know that you're thinking that Chiefs win on Monday will count as 2. That's where you're inaccurate. But no, yeah, I don't think 7's a bad thing. Let's say Travis doesn't necessarily develop every way. Maybe he misses a game that he could have helped win, but mortality caught up to him. A 7-win season is very plausible, and still, a great improvement.
Yes. Hey, look, it ain't been a lot of celebratory moments in Duval. I mean, 2017 was a great year. All right,
Blake Bortles ain't been here a while. I'm just
yeah. So, look, I just think if the Jaguars can just show that, hey, we're going to at least compete. We're buying into Liam. We're trusting the coach here. We're trusting the coaching staff, and most importantly, GM.
Jimmy Stones, man, that's a big deal.
If Jimmy Stones does what he's supposed to do, and hey, with a name like that, I ain't messing with Jimmy Stones. I ain't trying to sleep with the fish. I ain't gonna talk too bad about the Jaguars before we pull up at my crib. But what I will say is, they got a chance to look. They won't finish last in the South. We both agree on that. All right,
setting that bar nice and high. I like it, Mar. Hey.
we won't do that. So, with that being said, let's lead into the bigger question from you, Kyle. Expectations overall this 2025 season for Duval, for Jacksonville Jaguars. Are the fans going to be at least given some type of hope that they're heading in the right direction by the time this 2025 season concludes?
Yeah, I mean, the answer is clearly yes, because, if nothing else, the healing can begin. And I'm on record saying that many times on the Duval Dive. The healing can begin because Trent Baalke's not there anymore, and risks are taken, and rejuvenation and energy is brought in. Like, say what you will, but we went from old and experienced to a dude in James Gladstone who's so young and handsome. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure he's old enough to know what it is to get rickrolled. Okay, like I don't know why I picked that example, but I think you get the point. What was it? We had a former Titans tight end Ben Troop, former Gators tight end Ben Troop on the Duval Dive. He says he doesn't need no VCR GMs. He needs somebody that's actually used a digital video file to coach and GM his team. And I think that's exactly the vibe that the Jags got, which is why I quote Ben saying that, because I think it's the perfect way to describe it.
I love it. Last question before I get you out here, Kyle, and this is just around the NFL. We're just going to quick look.
Lightning round, baby. Let's go.
Little lightning round. Which owner gets their contract situation handled first? Does Mike Brown get Trey Hendrickson in the building first, or does Jerry Jones get Michael Parsons in the building first?
Oh, God. By default, I think it's Trey Hendrickson, because Jimmy Jones done floated that boat for how many days? What? Yeah. I'll put it this way. At least Trey's in a position to think maybe his team will be relevant. People watch the Cowboys just to hate. Like, I wish the best for Micah. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, I think Jerry's been burned too much by giving players money, and Micah's not bought in, which is ironic because we're talking about extending contracts. It's the one thing you should be doing is buying in. But even if you pay him, I don't think he's feeling the culture. I think this is an addition by subtraction scenario for both. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. I think Trey Hendrickson gets it first, even though, listen, not exactly how you say the most open wallet. Now, I could be wrong by default because of that, because, hey, at the end of the day, Jera may just pull in, friggin' Thursday night season opener and sign him, like he did extending Dak.
Yeah, like literally hours before the game started.
So I won't rule that out either. But no, I would say Trey gets his first.
No doubt. With that being said, you look at certain scenarios like Micah and having odds with Jerry and things like that, and NFLPA has been a mess.
Shouts to Pablo Torre for breaking those stories, right?
They have been a mess. The Christian Wilkins thing is a situation that the NFLPA got to deal with. This whole, they got to clean up their house in general. I just think just reset. And by the way, I don't know why you haven't put Troy Vincent in that seat yet. I don't know why.
It's a fascinating question. I like it.
Why? But I digress. And then you hear Eric Dickerson come out within the last 24 hours to add his fuel to the whole colluding scene with Shador. And what's going on with the NFL and the NFLPA? I mean, this is stuff that you literally see on VH1, some Love and Hip Hop type shit. Like,
yeah, that's I like that comparison. Holy snap, that's nice. I will speak carefully about this because I think the NFLPA has its purpose. I had a very unique opportunity in 2014 to be at the meetings for the NFLPA at the Waldorf at Disney. I got to interview. My first video interview was with Richard Sherman, fresh off of the Crabtree's a star receiver whole thing scenario. Like, as a Niner fan, see this humpy bumpy walk up after that. I think it was like just a few like weeks or months later. And here this dude comes. I'm like, well, I better get right. Richard Sherman was great, by the way. But he wasn't a Niner then yet. So like it was intimidating in its own way. But I say all that to say, hearing the stories from Jeff Saturday, from Drew Brees, from Dominic Foxworth, the good they performed for the players with that collective bargaining to get them a little bit better protection, not having to go to camp as hard and things like that mattered. Now, we're perhaps seeing some negative influence from that by players getting catastrophic early injuries early in seasons because of it. I think that's a latent catastrophe. Nobody expected that. But the NFLPA is like any other clique in its own way. It's going to have its own drama. I won't name names, but somebody referenced another member and is like, hey, where's this guy? Oh, probably getting his hair done. And I'm like, I'm just there writing my article like, do not laugh, do not laugh, do not laugh. So and they were dealing with Bountygate and all that other BS. So they were on the other side of the coin being the good guys, So it's a different scenario. And back then when I was doing it, like Damaris Smith had just come in. The Gene Upshaw era had just recently ended. The tumult between the league and the NFLPA was changing. And suddenly, there were different elements of things. Now, as far as collusion and things like that, excuse me, I think I want players to get paid their value, and I like them going for their money. Like I said, Calvin Ridley got paid. Good for him. I cheer for that. But there's certain elements of me wanting the sport I love to maintain where I go, hey, can we not give second rounders guaranteed contracts quite yet? Like, there's some there.
Yeah, I got you.
Protecting the sport I like to watch, so I'm conflicted. Was it collusion? Yeah, probably. Was I against it? I mean, this when one team does something that stupid that can jeopardize the league, what recourse does the NFL have? Yeah. It's a tougher conversation than we're giving it credit. But Kyle, they're all billionaires. Here's the thing you got to remember about billionaires, Mar. Rich people didn't get rich cutting checks. And if somehow at some point this thing turns into a bad investment, it turns south real fast. Now, am I saying it's happening tomorrow?
No, not even close.
But, you always, as a fan, got to be watching for that first domino where things will go in the wrong direction. And this kind of thing is that. So really, you keep hearing the cover-up was worse than the crime. That's where I think it all lies with the NFLPA.
And that's tough because, look, I look at NBA guaranteed contracts. And they're ballooning. They're getting bigger, and they're
all we keep hearing about is how their viewership is down, though, right, Mar?
What? That's what they say. And like you said, the owners didn't become rich by cutting checks. They also know how to have certain tactics to make certain things look a certain way. But
the only business I know that got rich cutting checks is Amscott. But then I look at the interest rate. That's all I'm saying.
But I mean, I'm just looking at, NBA big players are getting paid handsomely. Even the third major sport in baseball, behind NBA and NFL, those players are getting fully guaranteed contracts. I'm just looking at NFL players at some point in time take a stand, and if you have to, strike. Because I'm being honest. NBA players never been shy on striking. They get what they want. Major League Baseball players sure as hell ain't never been shy on striking. You know what I'm saying? I'm just more at some point, and maybe this might be to the bigger, I guess, problem or solution to this problem is if the players can take control of the union and say, hey, let's get together and say, hey, let's not just look out for our quarterbacks with the highest paying, pay scale, but let's look at guy number 53. All right, it's 53 guys on the roster. Like we all can eat. It to me, Kyle, this is a situation where if you ask for it, you should get it, because the NFL knows, and all those 31 owners, minus the Packers, who are publicly owned, they know, hey, man, we're literally a walking cash cow. We can go 0-17 and still make a profit.
That's facts, because they share the revenue. No, but here's what I would remind you too. Everything you say is accurate in a philosophy. Mm-hmm. Where it gets real is you mentioned stickball. You mentioned, by the way, baseball's a game, not a sport. I said what I said. You mentioned the NBA. You know what's different up front? Roster size. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more bodies affected, which when you're trying to centralize more bodies just by volume and numbers alone, it's dramatically more difficult to pull off the feet. A. B, there's so much disparity. Like, you're aware of the 1% and the 99%ers out there. Quarterbacks and the 99%, man. Mm-hmm. So, there's that dynamic there too. It's a lot more difficult. Yeah. If even the players weren't worried about protecting their own, as they should be, with the risk factor that's way more present than the other two sports.
Yeah.
Then they'd still have that issue of trying to be a centralized body with, 53-man rosters, not even counting practice squads, right? It's a bigger task, and there's a lot more at stake that you're risking on the line when you try to challenge the league like that. Which I think, by the way, as a side note, I mentioned Drew Brees, Jeff Saturday, that group. They didn't full on strike, but they were really close to it.
Really close.
They what they did was they put in a pot to put in an insurance policy just in case. Mm-hmm. And getting that coordinated was Herculean in style. So, just some things to think about as to why it's different. You make a good point about them leveraging weaker leagues because they're more centralized. Yeah. But there's some practical barriers there for NFL players. Again, your points are correct, but physics is a mofo, dude.
And I hated physics my senior year.
I hated my junior year. I didn't shoot. What are we talking about?
Nah, man. Hey, I'm just hoping when it all said and done that the players look out for each other and themselves as a union, and hopefully they can whip up their union, the NFLPA, in this shape and get it all squared away. At some point in time, I'm like, yo, these jokers are literally the revenue. It's like, we're not having no WNBA discussion with these guys. All right, this is revenue and profit both going up at the same damn time. So I'm just looking at it as like, hey, players, you're the content, you're the commodity, you're the supply. The demand will be there. You're the supply, and I'm just saying, at some point in time, tell those old wrinkled 31 motherfuckers and say, hey, man, give us our bigger slice of the pot. I get it. Yeah, y'all. Yes, you're the one writing checks. I get it. But damn it, we're the ones that are literally putting life, limb, and body on the line to make sure that you get to write those checks. That's all I'm saying.
Just ask Damar Hamlin, right?
Hey, bingo. The man we got to keep it apart. The man was dead on the field.
I will selfishly say, and I would only bring it up because he survived.
Yes.
Granted, I'm about the only member of the NFL media that carries he survived because they gave the comeback player of the year to Joe fucking Flacco over him. I'm glad I can curse on your show.
Oh, let it fly, baby.
But yeah, it was the one opportunity I had to talk with my mom about medical stuff about the NFL. Like, it was great.
Hey, brought you some quality time with Mondoos. Love it.
Listen, but yeah, I think the point is made. It's different when it's your bucks versus your body, right? Sell your mind, not your body. This is part of why we do this pod thing, by the way, y'all. We're trying to get to that state too, okay? But listen, I think all your points are incredibly valid. The only thing I would add is what you said, and the career of an NFL player on average is so much shorter as well.
Oh yeah. You'd be lucky if you get 2 full seasons or some real shit. So,
and you can't pack up and play in Europe like you can for the NBA, or you can't pack up and play in Japan yet like you can for stickball, right? So
no, and trust, the money for the USFL is not there yet.
No, yeah. I mean, I still call it the XFL. I don't care.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
This UFL stuff. And they took away the proper kickoff for the NFL to end up adopt it. What are we doing here? Anyways, I said what I said.
Hey, I got you. Hey, man. Kyle, man, I'm glad we did this. I needed this.
Oh, yeah.
Needed this. I needed just a good a therapeutic session, talk ball with one of my favorite guests. So I'm glad we did this. I'm glad.
Hey, man, listen. You dropped the text, and I was up next. That's all it is. That's from the hip. I hope you like that.
Hey, that was fly right there. My man got bars. Again, before we get out of here, remind the folks where they can find you at, my man.
Listen, it was a blessing tonight, Mar. Thank you. I'll get some inside baseball. This was therapy for me as well. I've been busting my entire ass at the day job, and you gave me a little bit of opportunity to laugh and talk some smack and drink some draft right here with you. Listen, if I partook of the smoke, I'd have done that too. But hey, we all have our vices, and we both do ours on air here.
Yep. Sure do.
So of course.
Hey, I just ran out of the other smoky smokes. Otherwise, you would have seen me rolling up right here. I ain't gonna lie. But no. Hey, I don't care, man. Hey, it's my podcast. We just having fun.
Yeah, if you were in my state, I'd want the tax revenue too. Let it fly, dog. With all that being said,
tell the people they can find you at, my brother.
Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and Blue Sky at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my writings for the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Orlando Magic at FFSN. The Duval Dive on the Believe Sports Network. And folks, get a hold of your life. You want to hear more about Travis Hunter and the Jags? The Duval Dive's where it's at. Subscribe to the pod or to the YouTube channel. We'll take your patronage either way, and we respond to comments all the time. Shouts also to my co-host and personal champion, Travis D. Holmes. And of course, I'm now the producer for the Bolt Blitz Uncut. Booga Peters doing his thing, having fantastic guests on. Me having a fantastic time doing the thing there. Check that out. Bolt Blitz YouTube channel and Bolt Blitz Uncut YouTube channel, and all the same for the socials. Make sure you check that out. Of course, my work with the Black and Gold Banneret, doing all things UCF. By the way, the Big 12, Mar, the most underappreciated conference in college football. You can guarantee that is a fact. But that action there. Listen, underrated, not overbloated like that blue blood ACC I was talking about earlier.
Woo! Hey, my man coming out swinging. Hey, always a pleasure, my man. Hey, y'all know where to find me. Going over to all I.O.W Sports Network social media platforms, specifically the YouTube channel. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell notification every time we go live, like we did here today with my man Kyle. And if you can't find me there, just do yourself a favor. Right here by the tip of my finger, that's my Twitter handle. Obviously, I'm a busy man, and I got all my content right there on my Twitter channel, Twitter page. So just go ahead and tap in with me right there. Hey, on behalf of my man Kyle, my brother from another, do
I get to drop the line now?
Drop it, bro.
Until next time, everyone, class dismissed.
Hey, we out of here, baby. Holla at y'all.